If you're looking to lose weight this year but wanting to keep it off as well, this is a technique you need to adopt. It's really easy, it's really simple. I do it personally and I do it with my clients, and it works. It doesn't matter what your diet is. This is something you can incorporate as well. So I'm going to show up my screen and I'm going to go through what it is. Volume eating. So what is it? In short, it's bulking out your meals with lots of low-calorie foods to fill you up. It's about changing that plate so it's a lower calorie plate, but it's still the same meal, it's still healthy, and it's nutritionally balanced. And I'm going to show a few examples and sort of talk you through them as well. So if we take this one here, this is an example off Google, but we've got 2 meals here that are essentially some sort of pulled meat. It looks like some quinoa or rice, and then some vegetables in there as well. So the one on the left, 720 calories, the one on the right, 450. Now, I'm not a calorie counter. I don't calorie count personally. I don't make my clients do it, but this demonstrates a point, so I will keep referring back to calories and macros just so it's understood. But if we're looking at those, like I say, very similar looking meals, both the same sort of size, both look quite filling, but one is much lighter, and it's the composition of what's on that, on that plate in that bowl. So the one on the left seems to have more of your stodgy stuff, your carbohydrate, your rice, quinoa, whatever it is. Whereas the one on the right seems to have less of that and much more vegetable. So the vegetables are lower calorie, but they're still filling. And actually nutritionally, you're getting a lot of vitamins and minerals from the one on the right. Again, another good example. So often we'll take a protein bar. People use those for sort of on the go. Those two, can't call them meals, but the bar versus the meal on the right, actually nutritionally very, very similar. In fact, the one on the right has slightly less carbohydrate. But you can understand how if you were able to consume either of those, you can understand how the one on the right is going to be much, much more filling. It's going to really fill you up. It's going to satisfy. It's going to be long lasting. Whereas the protein bar on the left, 60 gram, reasonable size, but it's not going to really fill you up and keep you going. It might stave off the hunger for a little bit, but is it long lasting? Potentially not. So yes, I'm not saying protein bars are bad. They serve a purpose, but if you can, do something like what's on the right there. Here's a few examples of different foods. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, you can see, but spinach, for example, right top middle, that such a huge bowl of it. You eat that, especially when it's uncooked, it's got bulk to it, it's going to fill you up, it's going to make you feel like you've had something to eat, but actually there's absolutely nothing in it in terms of calories. So you side that with some meat or some fish or something like that, and some other parts in there. You can imagine how you can make a really filling meal with very low calorie stuff. Strawberries bottom middle, again, a good example of volume eating there. Now, a bit of an odd combination, again, one I found off Google, but it demonstrates the point. So we've got 2 eggs there on the left and some jam on toast to go with it. Again, odd, but it demonstrates. Now on the right, that is much, much more filling, and actually it's less calories. So yes, the toast is unbuttered, but they've really filled that out with loads of different colours, loads of different veg. That's going to be more enjoyable in my eyes. That's going to fill me up. That's going to keep me going and stop me wanting to snack between that and the next meal. Yet, calories wise, it is the same. So you can use volume eating in that way. You can use it, although in this example it saved 7 calories. What it could also save is that sort of in between period between this, so this is the lunch and then you've got the evening meal. That could save the calories in that middle gap. Maybe before there was a bag of crisps in there, a chocolate bar or something like that. Actually having the meal on the right might stop that hunger happening. So it's not saving calories directly, but indirectly it is. So this is what volume eating is all about. So granola there on the left, small amount of granola. Then you've got oatmeal or porridge on the right. And again, calorie wise, you can see which one's going to fill you. You can see which one has lower calories. And raw spinach versus cooked spinach, as I sort of implied earlier. The left, you're going to get more bulk, and actually you're going to get more vitamins. You're less likely to have cooked things out of it. So going for the left where possible. Now, how can you use this in your everyday diet? You might be looking at these and thinking, Chris, I don't want to eat salads all the time. And I totally appreciate that. Neither do I. But how can you use volume eating in everyday life? Taking this, for example, burger and chips. Typically, not what you would class as your stereotypical diet food, but you can improve this plate. Now, here's an easy example. Now, I'm not saying you just pile the broccoli on top. It's just my really poor Photoshop skills here. But take those chips off. If you if we go back to the last one, if we can scoop these chips away here, scoop these off, leave those out of the way, and replace that with broccoli instead. Let's say the portion of chips is 500 calories for the full portion. If we take off 250 worth of calories of chips off of that and pad that out with broccoli, which there's next to no calories in broccoli, it's really, really light, you're going to have a net difference of 200 calories between the two plates. Doesn't sound like a lot, it's not groundbreaking, but do that across the week. Do that at your lunch, do that at your evening meal, that's 400 a day. Times that up by 7, 2,800 calories across the week just by doing that across the 2 meals. And you can do it with absolutely anything. Take a pizza, for example. Let's just have a little bit less of it and stick a side salad with it. Again, such a difference. If you're thinking each one of those slices could be, let's say, 250 calories, you've took off 500 calories away from that pizza. Granted, you do get healthier pizzas. You do get lighter calorie pizzas. But as an estimate, let's even be conservative. Let's say it's 200 calories a slice. You've took 400 off, and you're going to put about 30 back on with that side salad. But actually, the salad doesn't need to be boring. You can dress it up, you can do things with it, you can make it more interesting. So you'll add a few calories with that. But you're still in a net deficit. It still creates that deficit between the 2 meals. That is how you can incorporate volume eating into your everyday diet. It's really simple, it's really easy, and it can be done across the board. You can do it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks in between. Just try and think about volume. Try and think about the low calorie stuff that you can really bulk out your meals with. Because this way you're actually eating the same, or you could eat more, but still create that calorie deficit across the week. Now, there's other things you can do. This isn't the magic bullet. It's not going to be the only thing. There's intermittent fasting. There's water consumption. There could be things around your sleep, around your stress. There's loads of things you can do to try and improve your health in 2025. And there's a couple more videos here that might be interesting to you. So give those a watch as well, and I'll speak to you soon.